Clicker technology, an educational tool in the classroom, is the topic of today's presentation. What is clicker technology? As a nurse educator, you may already be familiar with clicker technology as being referred to as Audience Response System, ARS, Classroom Response System, CRS, Personal Response System, PRS, or Student Response System, SRS. A goal as a nurse educator is to engage students through active learning and to determine the effectiveness of these active learning tools in the classroom. Active learning occurs when students intentionally employ specific teaching strategies that are designated for helping them to learn information. Margie Martin, author of Clickers in the Classroom: An Active Learning Approach, writes that clickers follow the principle of game-based learning, which is a type of active learning. So what is the background of clicker technology? Clickers in the classroom have been around for several decades but have been gaining interest in additional research studies. Many questions have been asked, such as, does the clicker increase greater student engagement? Does clicker use heightened discussion and interactivity among students in the classroom? Do clickers create student interest? Are clickers seen as a motivational tool in the classroom? And what about the significance of using clickers in the classroom? New wireless technology is used in the classroom to actively engage students in responding to questions during class. A glimpse of how the iClicker works can be seen through this YouTube video.
How does iClicker work? With iClicker, you can ask a question from the application of your choice, including PowerPoint, Word, a PDF file, old standardized tests, a website, anything. Each student then responds to the question by clicking the appropriate button on the iClicker remote. A wireless signal from each responding remote or clicker is immediately sent to the receiver. Through iClicker's easy-to-use software, all responses are instantly logged, stored, and graded in the iClicker gradebook, called iGrader. After polling stops, you can display voting results in a graph for immediate feedback. After class, you can track student or class progress over time by reviewing the convenient iGrader reports. You can also easily assess students' understanding of material as lessons are being delivered with iClicker. It's just that simple.
The online Journal of Nursing Informatics provides us with the first research article of discussion. It's titled Clickers in Nursing Education: An Active Learning Tool in the Classroom by Nancy Menzon. Schickering and Gamson's 1991 theoretical model Principles of Good Practice in Education were used to measure student satisfaction. Do clickers enhance active learning by encouraging student-faculty interaction? Do clickers stimulate cooperation among students? Is there increased knowledge and greater retention? And lastly, do clickers emphasize time on task with prompt feedback? Menzon's main purpose of the study was to evaluate student satisfaction of clicker usage in the classroom, and did students think of clickers as being a tool to promote active learning? Overall findings showed a positive outcome in student satisfaction with clicker usage, as well as a perceived increase in knowledge acquisition and retention related to student engagement. Students did not feel clicker usage to be a motivating factor for attending class. Obstacles with adopting clickers in the classroom may be more preparation time and involvement in developing clicker questions by the faculty uncertainty with using technology tools in the classroom, lack of technology support, and a reluctance to change from traditional instruction. There is a recommendation that more evidence-based nursing education research be performed to correlate clicker usage and increased knowledge. Nurse Education Today had the second article of discussion titled Evidence for Teaching Practice: The Impact of Clickers in a Large Classroom Environment, written by Patterson, Kilpatrick, and Wolkenberry. The purpose of this study was to evaluate clickers related to student interaction and engagement, while in the meantime also evaluating objective student outcomes. Many times it's challenging to actively engage a large number of students in a large classroom setting. This may be due to the physical structure of the room or perhaps an inability to hear the students' responses. Findings from a two-group comparison, quasi-experimental design, demonstrated that clickers were a positive addition to the classroom and that they provided an interactive environment that was engaging. Discussion with rationales that follow the clicker usage strongly helped students to understand and remember difficult content. The students saw that responding to a question anonymously was a benefit, and that it created less embarrassment for the student if they missed the question. Several negative aspects included time lost with malfunctioning of the clicker and the individual student cost of the clicker. Additionally, there was not a significant difference in the objective test scores between the two comparison groups. Recommendations were made by the authors to continue further research regarding knowledge acquisition as an outcome variable. Clicker usage time in the classroom setting is usually limited, so determining how much time is necessary for knowledge acquisition is a recommendation. The nurse educator also needs to determine if the clicker tool is to be used for formative or summative assessment, or will it be used for individual or group assessment. The Teaching and Learning in Nursing Journal provided us with the third article of discussion, titled Student Perception of Clicker Usage in Nursing Education, with Pfeiffer as the author. Again, Chicory and Gampson's Principles of Good Practice in Instructional Education were used in this research study as well. Remember, these were encouraging active learning, student and faculty interaction, student cooperation, and prompt feedback. The author feels that an instructor can promote and direct students toward reasoning as opposed to recall, and that participation between students and the faculty member is encouraged, and prompt feedback occurs, which stimulates potentially deep discussions that can follow iClicker questions. They also feel that they are developing the students' critical thinking skills and better preparing them for the NCLEX exam by using tactical, focused questioning. Strengths in the research study were a positive perception of using clickers, ease of use, greater application of theory, and the clickers also provided for great anonymous test practice. Weaknesses seen with clicker usage consisted of short battery life, no real motivation to be more prepared for class, and the clickers did not help the students to stay concentrated during class. A large sample size was recommended, as generalization to all nursing students cannot be made with a small sample size. It was also noted that students' perceptions may be different from actual learning. Therefore, a recommendation was made to do additional research on the effects that clickers have on exam grades and NCLEX scores. In summary, the clicker is seen as a creative, flexible teaching strategy tool for increasing classroom engagement. Overall, the students like the anonymous environment that clicker usage provides, as well as the instant feedback with discussion that follows each question. Other objective student outcome variables need to be researched further with empirical investigation, including the relationship of clickers and knowledge acquisition, as well as course exams and NCLEX results. Thank you for joining with me today in the presentation of Clicker Technology, an educational tool in the classroom.